Hi there. Yeah, you person who likes costumes. I'm talking to you. I do too. So we are going to make red threaded patterns version of 1810's short stays. I am not a historian. I just love to sew and I love making costumes. So let's get to it. So to start with, I am going to trace each one of these pattern pieces onto my duck canvas so that I can cut it out without having the bumps of the pins. And now it's time to cut these out. I have made a version of this prior to me recording this, and I realized that I did need to make a slight modification in the cup. I don't know if you can see that, but essentially what I did was I made it as the pattern was and then decided that the cup needed to come in just a smidge on the inside, like on the middle edge of the bust. And that change looks like a half inch. So I folded it over. So there's a 1/4 inch here and a 1/4 inch on the other side. So that means I need to bring in my seam line by a 1/4 inch. Are you a guard dog? I don't think you are. The other change I did was I added cording. I started this in 2 steps, actually. First, I used a piece of wood for a busk because I realized that the bust line was too heavy with just the spiral steel. So I took the spiral steel out and I used a piece of wood here for the busk. It still needed some extra support. So I took 2 other pieces of wood and placed them here, which helped. But the wood was kind of poking me at the bottom. So I decided to take those out and try cording instead. This helped tremendously. So this is what I'm going to do in this version. I am going to do the wooden busk, but I'm also going to do cording. So I need to make a pattern piece this shape so that I can place it beside the boning or the busk in the middle. I'll just trace this piece. I'll have to add a little bit of space to it for seam allowance and for the amount that the cording pulls in. But essentially, that is the shape I need. So let's add some seam allowance here. Okay. Ink is disappearing on this paper. And now we are going to do some zigzags on the edges. There we go. Just like that, I'm done zigzagging all the edges. So, in addition to the edges, I also did a zigzag around the marks that we will cut open for the gores on the bust. I just did that to stabilize the fabric since we're going to cut straight down it and add the gores. I wanted to make sure it was stable all the way around where I'm going to cut. We are going to cut straight down these. While this is still not put together, first I'm actually going to sew on casing for the bust, which actually I only needed to cut one of these. I cut two. Anyway, so we are going to sew on the bust casing. Oh, I forgot to mark that. I'm going to first press this, and for my boning or my busk, I found a little trick. So I am a girl of many tools, and I found a way to make my own busk because I searched and I searched and I couldn't find any that were the right length for this project. But I did find this. This is a paint stir. You can pick them up free at the hardware store. Usually, most of them. Anyway, it is perfectly sized for the width. It's not very thick, but it gives enough support. And you can cut it to length. So that's what I used for a bust in my mock-up. And that's what I'm going to use for a bust in this one. I say mock-up, but it's really a wearable mock-up. Like, I wore it already once, and well, I've worn it multiple times actually. I wore it all day the other day instead of a bra because frankly it's more comfortable. So yeah, so I'm going to show you how I made my busk. All right, so this is 4 inches from the end, and I definitely don't need a saw for this because it's so thin. Last time I used wire cutters. You don't have to cut it all the way through because you can break it. It's pretty soft. And now I have a Dremel. Yes, this is mine, not my husband's. I'm going to use this. Safety first. I got to find some goggles. Apparently, all of my safety glasses are being stored in the front of my trailer, so I don't want to go find them. I will use my sunglasses. I'm going to mute my microphone because this is probably going to be loud. Done. All right, so I took 4 inches. Let me stop waving my mic around. I took 4 inches from the paint stir handle and basically just rounded it out on the edges so that it's not going to poke me when I place it as a busk. This is the center front. And so the busk is going to be in this centerpiece, and I am going to put the stuff along this way. This is where I want these. So I'm just going to put a pin to keep them in place. We'll just take this one. Boom. Boom. Now we're going to straight stitch down this side and this side. Okay, so that is how wide I need my channels to be able to place. So it looks like that is 3/8. Now we are going to prep our casings for the boning. These two lines or two sections are for the boning, and this blank space is for folding over and using as the other side of the casing. So what we need to do is we need to fold in the back end of this about a little over 1/4 of an inch. So just fold it under. And then we're going to pin it on this side and make sure that it covers our stitch line. See, that did not. So let me try again. Now we're going to add the cups onto stays, and the way we're going to do that is we are going to fold under the edge where we've cut the slits, and then we are going to pin the bust portions to that folded edge. Now we gotta sew this. I am using a straight stitch, and I'm going to stitch as close to the edge as I can on this fold. And then I'm going to do a couple back stitches at the bottom point. Oh no. I made a mistake, and it's gonna have to be a design choice. My boning and my channels are on the wrong side because I just sewed my cups the other way. So those are gonna stay like that on the outside. Right now we are going to sew the seams between the front, the side front, and the back. These two seams will also be used as boning channels. Right now I'm going to take this twill tape and make the boning channels in between the two channels that I just pressed. I'll show you that. So we're just going to stitch the twill tape down along the marked channel. All right, I have this ruler, which is 2 inches wide, and bias tape is cut on a 45-degree angle. I did make a video on how to make bias tape, so if you'd like to see that, I can stick a link in here. All right, I'm going to try to record this. My sound cuts in and out a lot when my air conditioner's on, so hopefully it doesn't happen too much. We are now going to attach the bias tape. So I've made all my bias tape, and this is how we're going to attach it. We are going to open it up and attach the bias tape on its fold down here. On the bottom edge, well, we're also going to attach it on the top. So we are going to attach it to the outside first. And then once we've got it stitched down on the outside, I'm going to hand stitch the inside so that my stitches don't go all the way through. Oh my gosh. I made just enough. All right. So we are going to attach these starting on the right side. And we're just going to sew straight down it. I was trying to avoid hitting the metal because I accidentally made all of these just a little bit too long. And I just hit the metal and broke my needle. So, come on. My needle piece is stuck. That's what happens when you hit metal with your needle. Oh, did I totally mess up my alignment? I think I messed up my alignment. All right, so my needle won't go down into the bobbin casing. It is jammed up that high. So to fix that, you have to take apart the machine. Thankfully, this machine is one that I got on Facebook Marketplace, and it had a broken gear when I bought it. So I have taken this apart a few times to fix different things to get it to work. So I am not a stranger to opening up this machine. So I decided that when I made the previous version of this, I didn't like all the raw edges on the inside of the bust. So I'm fixing that in this version. I took 1-inch strips, 1-inch wide strips of the canvas, and then I folded over the edges and ironed it or pressed it. And I'm going to use these strips to cover, you can see that, to cover the raw edges. Okay, I got all these pinned on, and I'm just going to hand stitch them, so I'm not going to record it. It takes forever and it's very slow, but if you would like to see just video of hand stitching, let me know and I'll make it available, but otherwise I'm not going to sit and record all my hand stitches. It's a lot. Well, this is the completed set of stays. So a few things. I did completely hand sew all the eyelets on this corset. I'll show some close-up pictures of it. But they're all hand sewn. On the previous version, I did the metal eyelets for the back, and I hand stitched the front because I was trying to decide what I wanted to do on this one. The modifications I made for this stays pattern, I put a busk in here, which I showed in the video how I made it. The busk is right here. And then I put cording as a secondary support system for the bust. Without these two pieces of cord, or these two sections of cording and the busk in the front, whenever I put the stays on, it drooped forward in the front and it gave me absolutely zero support. When I tried using just spiral steel in the middle and it did nothing. So that's when I decided to switch to this method. Once I've rounded the corners of the busk that I made and put the cording in, it's like super comfortable. I could wear it all day. Actually, I did wear it all day the other day. Well, this one, not this one. Anyway, that is what I modified on here, and I will pass you over to my final thoughts. This pattern is not that difficult for somebody who has some sewing knowledge. If you are a bustier gal, you will need to engineer some extra support in the front. If you are not a busty gal, it'll probably work just fine for you. I don't know what happened with my straps. I think because I wore this one for probably a total of 3 days already, the straps have been worn in some more than this one, and so they've stretched some. These straps are feeling a lot shorter than these straps, and I don't know why. So we'll see after I wear it for a while if it stretches out or not. But I'm contemplating trying to embroider some flowers or some design on this stays set, just to make it a little prettier because I know it's kind of pretty plain right now. So, do you have any thoughts on that? What do you think I should put on it, or do you think I should put anything on it, or just leave it plain as it is? Um, anyway, that is it for this week. Next week, I will do probably just a short video showing how to do boning and how to do eyelets, both the hand stitched method and two versions of setting the metal eyelets. So that will probably be next week's video. And then it may be a couple weeks before I have another video out after that because I have planned to make a Regency dress. And I'm not sure how long it's going to take me because I've never done a Regency era dress. I've done tons of Renaissance costumes, but not Regency. So it's not like one of the elaborate gowns. It's more of one of the simple ones. But I actually have two patterns I want to try. So I will probably do back-to-back videos on those. The first one is McCall's 7493. I'm going to do view A and C, so the jacket, the short jacket, and the dress. And then the second outfit that I'm going to make is actually the Mood Fabrics free pattern for the Bridgerton gown. It is a short dress that is Regency style. It's not an actual Regency gown, or at least it appears short in the pictures. So we'll see when I make it. But yeah, that is my upcoming plans for the next probably month of videos. So I hope you join me again. If you're new here, thank you for watching. And if you are not new here, I really appreciate you returning. And I hope to see you again, or I hope you see me again. And have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.